Are you bored waiting at the bus stop? Are you looking for an iPhone app to keep you entertained? Based on the hit iPhone game Words with Friends, RHS Pre-Calculus presents the new game Identities with Friends, an iPod app but verifying trig identities. The goal of the game is to make both sides equal to each other by verifying only one side of the identity. You may not change the opposite side. Now, let's look at an example. Now here we have the identity, tangent squared x plus 1 times cosine squared x minus 1 is equal to negative tangent squared x. Now the first step here is to use the Pythagorean identities to simplify the equation. Tangent squared x plus 1 can be turned into secant squared x, and cosine squared x minus 1 can be turned into negative sine squared x. The second step here is to use the reciprocal identities to simplify the equation further, turning secant squared x into 1 over cosine squared x, which can be combined with negative sine squared x to be negative sine squared x over cosine squared x. The third step here is to factor out the exponent, turning it into negative sine x over cosine x squared. The fourth and final step is to use the quotient identity to simplify sine x over cosine x into simply tangent x, which makes the final side negative tangent squared x, which is equal to the opposite side, and the trig identity is verified. Congratulations, you've successfully completed your turn. Now, we will wait for a random opponent to try their luck at a separate identity. The identity that they have been given is secant squared x minus 1 over secant squared x is equal to sine squared x. Now the first step here is to use the Pythagorean identities to simplify the equation again. The top secant squared x can be turned into tangent squared x plus 1. Now, the plus 1 and the minus 1 can be cancelled out, simplifying the equation further to tangent squared x over secant squared x. Then, the reciprocal identities can come next, which turns 1 over secant squared x into cosine squared x. The fourth and final step is to finish the turn by using quotient identities to simplify tangent squared x into sine squared x over cosine squared x. However, because this is being multiplied by cosine squared x, it will simplify further into simply sine squared x, which is, of course, equal to the opposite side, and this identity is now complete. Congratulations! The computer has now solved the equation itself, and now your trial is complete. This is the next big thing in the world of mathematical iPhone games, so we suggest that you go purchase it right away, now free at the App Store.